The AO masquerade was alive with music, white flowing robes swirling under the hot Lago sun. Tourists laughed, snapping photos of dancers gliding through the crowd. But one moved differently. Too tall, too slow. Head tilting unnaturally with each step. From behind his mask, eyes glowed faint gold, never blinking. Ada, a tourist, felt her skin crawl when his gaze locked on hers, and didn't look away. Ada tried to laugh it off. It's just a performance, she told herself, forcing her camera up for another picture. But every time she clicked, the strange dancer was there, closer than before. The AO festival moved down the street, drums booming, dancers leaping. The air smelled of dust, sweat, and roasted corn. Children ran past, chasing each other through the crowd. Yet somehow, Ada always saw the tall figure through the sea of white robes. He never danced like the others. His movements were slow, jerky, almost broken, and his staff scraped the ground with a dry hiss. She turned away for a moment to watch another group spin past. When she looked back, he was gone. Ada's heart thumped. She scanned the crowd. Nothing. Later that evening, back at her rented apartment in Surulere, she unlocked the door and sighed with relief. The noise of the festival still drifted faintly through the streets. She boiled some water for tea, trying to shake off the unease. A soft tap, tap, tap came from outside her window. Ada froze. She lived on the second floor. Slowly, she turned her head. Through the thin curtain, a shape swayed in the yellow glow of the street lamp. White robes, tall frame, head tilted, mask facing her window. Ada gasped and stumbled back, knocking over the mug. Hot water splashed onto the floor. She rushed to the window and yanked the curtain aside. The street was empty. Her hands shook as she locked every bolt on the door. She told herself it was just nerves. Maybe she had imagined it. By midnight, the streets had gone silent. Ada lay in bed, eyes wide, listening. Then, faintly, tap, tap, sway. It was coming from the hallway. The sound grew louder, closer, a slow scrape following each step. Shadows shifted under her door. Ada's breath caught in her throat. She reached for her phone with trembling fingers, but the battery was dead. Ada stayed frozen, heart pounding so loudly she thought it might give her away. She told herself it could be a neighbor, maybe someone drunk coming to the wrong door. But deep down, she knew. Then, the door began to open. Through the gap, Ada saw it. White robes that brushed the floor. The tall frame. The mask, long and smooth, with two narrow eye holes. Behind them, the same faint golden glow. He stepped inside. Ada stumbled backward until she hit the wall. "Who are you?" she whispered. The figure stopped, tilted his head. Then, without lifting his mask, he spoke. "You looked at me," he said, voice deep but strangely hollow, like it came from inside a drum. I was just taking pictures." "You looked. Now you will follow." Before she could scream, he moved, sudden, impossibly fast, closing the distance in a blink. His mask was inches from her face. She could smell damp earth and something like old blood. Ada shoved past him and ran for the door. But when she flung it open, she didn't see the hallway of her apartment building. She saw the festival. The streets were packed again, music blaring, dancers spinning, but all of them were still. Every masked face turned toward her. Ada's breath hitched. She turned back. The tall figure was right behind her. One of the other dancers stepped forward, then another, and another. Their robes rustled without wind. "You follow now," the tall one said again. Ada felt herself moving forward without willing it, her feet gliding across the ground, her body swaying. She tried to scream, but her mouth would not open. The dancers closed in around her, their masks filling her vision until there was nothing else. The drums pounded in Ada's ears, but they weren't real drums. They were her own heartbeat, heavy and desperate. Her vision blurred as the glowing-eyed dancers surrounded her, their white robes swaying like waves in a dark sea. The tall one reached out, placing his cold, gloved hand on her shoulder. Her body went numb. She couldn't move, couldn't resist. He began to dance, and she was forced to move with him. Her legs bent and swayed, her arms lifted in the same unnatural rhythm. Each scrape of his staff against the ground sent a shock through her bones. The festival shifted. The colorful streets faded into shadow. The music grew hollow, distorted. She was no longer in Lagos. She was somewhere else. In this place, the air was thick like smoke, the sky black without stars. The ground beneath her feet was cracked earth, glowing faintly red. Dozens of AO dancers surrounded a giant pit, swaying in perfect unison. From the pit rose faint, muffled screams, as if hundreds of voices cried out from beneath the earth. Ada was pulled closer. The tall figure leaned down to her ear. "Once you see us, you dance forever." She tried to pull back, but her feet slid forward toward the pit. The screams grew louder. Faces began to emerge from the red glow, twisted, stretched, eyes wide in terror. Some she recognized from her photos earlier that day. Tourists, locals, all swaying in the same lifeless rhythm. Ada's body tilted forward, the pit pulling her in. She fell. The last thing she saw before the darkness swallowed her was the tall figure leaning over the edge, mask tilting, eyes burning brighter than ever. The next morning in Lagos, the festival carried on as if nothing had happened. Tourists laughed, children ran through the streets. A photographer checked his camera after taking a shot of the dancers. In the photo, a new figure appeared among them, tall, slow-moving, eyes glowing faint gold from behind the mask. She danced.
Thanks for watching. If you're new here, or if you have been watching without subscribing, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up and drop all your comments below. Stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. I will see you guys in our next one. For now, bye.